In part 2 we pick up where we left off last week. Here are some recap shots. It's hard to capture the full extent of the conditions on video, but the wind was still howling and the rain was predicted within the next few hours. There was no time to waste. Plus, we were partially blocking traffic, allowing only limited passage for heavy vehicles. At this moment the rain hadn't reached us yet, but the wind gusts were gaining in strength. Now, for the first time since buying this boat 1.5 years ago, we finally saw the underside. The hull, its condition and its potential issues were now revealed. This could have marked the end of the project if the underwater hull had turned out to be too damaged or decayed. But to my great surprise, at least at first glance, everything looked much better than expected. Man, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. With the boat securely on the trailer and freed from the crane, the rain began to drizzle down. But there was work to do. Armed with scrapers and shovels, everyone jumped in and removed as much marine growth as possible. Time was against us, but I wanted to clear off as much as I could before moving to the next site. A grassy area that, after weeks of rain, was already soggy enough. It's only in slow motion you can truly appreciate how harsh the weather conditions were that day. With the last fenders brought in, the next phase of the journey began. On both sides of the boat trailer, someone walked along ready to throw wheel shocks under the tires in case of an emergency, such as if my homemade connection between the tractor and the trailer failed. Yeah, that was an option as well. once in better condition I must say, became the backdrop to our nerve-wracking trip to my new working space. I bought the trailer online without ever seeing it in person, solely relying on the seller's word about its maximum load capacity. So far so good. All my fingers are crossed. And then, amid the stress and the constant stream of potential catastrophes, I noticed, far too late I must admit, that the boat was slightly tilted on the trailer. Man, for a brief moment I panicked, thinking it was slipping off and it could roll off at any second. But most likely the wind had already pushed the boat sideways while the crane straps lifted her at the quay. Another small heart attack avoided. Some makeshift landscaping was necessary along the way. Yes, it has to be said, if the boat had been 50 centimeters wider, we couldn't have made it through. Wobbling and swaying, my beauty finally arrived at the club. Just one more turn, and this nerve-wracking adventure would be over.
Ja, nu zeker.
Barely clearing the high voltage cables overhead, the boat now crawled onto the terrain. Well, it was more of a swamp after the endless rain of the past few days. Come on baby, just a few more meters. But unfortunately, that was all we got. With the stern still sticking out onto the road, the trailer sank deep into the soaked ground. We were stuck. Immediately it was all hands on deck, or rather under the boat. To avoid blocking traffic any longer and prevent a potential dangerous situation, we started digging out and jacking up the front wheels of the trailer, hoping to slide support plates underneath and move it just a few meters forward.
Viel draait al. Ja, ja. Dan kan het ook wel doorgaan. Ja, een beetje.
Okay, second attempt, hold your breath. Well, also the second attempt failed. With now rain in my boots and my spirits sinking just as fast, I had no idea how to solve this. The situation remained dangerous for approaching traffic. The weather wasn't on our side, and with only a few hours of daylight left, our options were running out fast. But the tractor driver had one last trick up his sleeve. Help arrived in the form of a crane.
Yes. Oké, op. Is goed. Gaan we binnen. Ja, ja, nog meer is genoeg, hè. Ja, is goed.
I must say, a few stiff drinks were well deserved after that ordeal. Mission accomplished. And there she stands, ready to be fully stripped. A new chapter may begin.